What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, I have Nathalie from Bitcoinsensus. She is going to take a look at the charts today for us. Nathalie, how are you doing today?
I'm super good, Andy. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. What a major bounce we did have yesterday on the Bitcoin price. Very much unexpected. I think it was a very big short squeeze. So I would like you to take a look at Bitcoin on the chart, if that's okay. Let's do some technical analysis, larger time frames, shorter time frames. It's all on you, Nathalie. So tell us what you can see on the charts.
Absolutely. So what I see on the overall picture, we did have this pullback right here, as we all can see. Overall picture on Bitcoin, we are still creating lower lows and lower highs, and I'm still following that. But right now, we came back down to a previous support around 37,000 K, and market then spiked to the upside. And right now, I do believe that we can continue back up with this Fibonacci that I'm having from 44,500 and around 600 to the lowest point at 36,900. So at the moment, we are slightly below the Fibonacci level 50%. That is around 39,340. I do believe that we could potentially come up to 40,500, 600, because that is the 61.8%. Going and looking at the lower time frames, we did have this huge push to the upside, but I do have two supply zones that I'm looking at. We do have on this red candlestick right here, and from this level, we saw the market spike into the downside. But if we are continuing up right now, because I am pretty unsure if we're actually going to respect this level and then continue back down, because we did respect the 50%. But we just might also see the market consolidate after a huge momentum like this. But if we're seeing the continuation, I'm going to zoom it in because it's such a small candlestick. So you see this candlestick right here. This is my other supply candle that I'm using, because we could also see from that candlestick, we saw the push to the downside. So that's why I'm using that one. And that is also combined with the 61.8%. It's slightly above. It's always levels. Obviously, it's not just one level the market will respect. But for myself right now, I do look at these levels to see if this could potentially be the next lower high that we're having, or if we're coming up to 40,041K, because we do have the 61.8, we have the supply candle, which we saw the market have. It was actually from this candlestick, we saw the huge push that we did have back down to 35K. So this is what I see at the moment, going to the lower time frame. So this is the 4-hourly chart. I took the Fibonacci on the daily chart. So from this high that we did have around 44,500, from the high, to the low at 37,000. And so looking at the lower time frames, we are in a sideways market on the 1-hourly. And usually from this level, you can see the market just spiking, go up and down, and you can get faked out pretty easily. I do not like this huge week that we're having, because we can all obviously come and fill this week and then continue to the downside. So for myself at the moment, I want to take a step back, because I do want to see if we are just consolidating in between these this supply candle that we're having on the 4-hourly, and then spike down, or if we're actually breaking it and come up to the 61% plus the other supply candle that I'm having. So that's what I see right now. I'm not sure how much the war between Russia and Ukraine, how much that's actually affecting the market. I've never been in a trades with war going on. So I actually have no clue how that's affecting the market. So I'm just going to take a step back and just to see if we're actually pushing back up, or if we're breaking the support around 38,523. At that point, I could potentially look at sell opportunities. So this is what I see at the moment on Bitcoin. I'm just waiting. I think it's important to just take a step back sometimes, and especially when you are in a sideways market. But we are in a good level, because we are at the supply candle. So usually the supply and demand zones is really good, because it's actually from those you're buying or selling the market.
Gaining those, that last lower high or the last lower low. getting that supply.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, so this is what I see at the moment on Bitcoin. I'm pretty unsure. I'm not surprised if we're having a spike up, but if we're seeing huge momentum, you never know if it potentially would break everything. But the last lower high that we're having is around 44,590. So if we're having the momentum, we're breaking this resistance trend retest. At that point, I'm looking at the market from a bullish perspective. But as long as we are below this resistance trend line, we're below the previous lower high, I'm still searching for another lower high to be created to sell the market.
Right.
Target.
So
yeah.
I was
Sorry.
going to ask you, where would be the point that you would become bullish for a new uptrend?
Do you mean if from the last touch to the downside and then breaking to the upside?
Yeah, when will be the moment that you will feel bullish? What does the price action need to do so you start becoming bullish?
Well, it depends now, because we did see the market coming up and created a lower low right here around 36,300. So if we are just I mean, I do believe that we just might come back down here for a last time if we're seeing the market going to the upside, or we're just consolidating here. What I need to be bullish, it depends on how the market obviously is working. If we're going to become bullish from this data that we're having, I need to break 44,600. If we're looking at the market right now of how it is.
And close it daily on top of that range, right? To confirm it.
You have to close it, and I have to see good price action creating a higher low, and not, you see the market breaking it and then it comes back down.
Yeah.
It's very easily that actually happens.
All right, nice. Well, thank you very much for your analysis on Bitcoin.
Thank you.
And what else can we analyze? We can do Ethereum.
Okay, so on Ethereum, I did have a demand candle right here. So I took it, demand candle from 2,700 back down to 2,570.80. And if you're just zooming in, it was from this candlestick you saw the push to the upside. So everyone that is following me on my YouTube channel, they actually know that I was speaking about that I could potentially see market reversing back up from this level. And the market yesterday did close precisely with a doji, and now we're seeing the momentum. Where I see, first of all, this is the same thing that we're having on Bitcoin, that I still potentially can see a lower high be created, because the last lower high was 3,188. So same thing, if I want to become bullish, we need to break it, see retest, and I want to see how the retest is looking, if we're having huge momentum or if it actually looks like we are respecting the levels. But at the moment, I'm still going to use 2,876 and 2,950, because that is the Fibonacci that we're having, and that gives us the 50 and 61% level. So I'm still going to use these levels to see if we are seeing the market pumping up to it, and that is also combined with the resistance trend line. And if we're seeing bearish reversal patterns, and usually we can see that on the lower time frames, at that point I'm selling the market. And with the Fibonacci that I'm having, if we're going back in time to this previous low, this previous support, it's actually combined with the Fibonacci, the last target that I'm having on minus 1.2 around, and that at that point we could potentially come back down to 1,800. And from that level, I have no clue what's going to happen, but by just following market structure, it actually kind of makes sense to do that. So if we are respecting it as a lower high, I would want to see, I could potentially see market coming back down to 1,800. But if we're just breaking everything and I'm going to become bullish, as I just told you, we need to break this previous lower high of what we're having on the market at the moment. So that's what I do on Ethereum.
Nice. Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, like you were saying, if that 618 and that resistance trend line doesn't hold and you kind of break it to the upside, like a really good breakout, you are actually finally creating higher lows, right? From, January, and now this higher low that we're just creating right now with that doji, it will be a higher low. So like, it would be like potentially the start of a new market structure, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm only following that. I don't follow news. I don't follow
Yeah.
follow anything more than the price action. And that's the basic of price action. So that's why it's really easy to follow, because you're just following textbook of how the market is obstructed. This is the basic of it. So I mean, it takes some time, but I'd rather wait than losing the money.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to see that reaction to that 618 and the lows that we do have. It must be on the 12th or the 13th of February. That around the lows that we have there, just at the 50%, 618. Exactly. See how the market reacts to that level, because it's a potential level that we might roll back down, right?
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of just a waiting game, and it is the week, and it's Friday. So I mean, market just might, if we can come up to that level. Obviously, we do have some momentum now on the lower time frames. We see the market going up, and we can actually just see on the lower time frames we're continuing up. We do have a small inverted head and shoulders right here too. So it kind of makes sense that we're pushing to the upside, and because we did have some huge momentum for a long time. This is a long time, actually. How many days have we've been bearish for a long time? So eventually the market needs to come
a bounce.
And we could also use another trend line on the lower time frames, and you saw perfectly how the market broke it, retest, and now market continues up. And with that, we can also see that we do have this inverted head and shoulders. So just trying to take the patterns, resistance, trend line, and whatever. I mean, it's simple to see now when I'm also having it on the charts.
All right then, Nathalie, thank you very much. I mean, we're paying attention to Bitcoin and Ethereum, see what's going on. We're having a little bit of pumpy action, but this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean that you need to become extremely bullish. We do have major resistance levels above us, and market structure is to the downside. So watch out, guys. Guys, Nathalie's channel is down below. Nathalie Bitcoinsensus, make sure to follow her. She does analysis every single day on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. She also does live streams, right?
Yes, multiples.
Yeah, so absolutely great. I mean, I join your live streams once in a while because I also like to see your perspective on the market. So Nathalie, thank you very much for joining. Anything you want to say to my community?
I hope everyone is having a good day and a good weekend. And as Andy said, you're having the link in the description. And thank you so much, Andy, for having me on your channel once again.
You're very welcome, Nathalie. And I will see you very soon.